Hi guys, good morning. This is Dan. Welcome to Engelgeist. This is the daily forecast for all signs. It is available to anybody who sees it whenever you see it, right? So it's originally created for Friday, April 8th. But it is, if you're seeing it on a date other than April 8th, that is okay. You might actually be able to use this message. So welcome to those that are new, to those that are returning, welcome back. And for those that support me over on Patreon, thank you so very much for your subscriptions. I greatly appreciate them. This is a broad spectrum forecast for those of you that are new. This is a broad spectrum forecast. Let's keep in broad terms because it's a collective reading. We all share it, right? It's energies that are going on around us, available to us, things that we should be aware about, you know. It's here to validate you, not make the decisions for you, right? You want to empower yourself through your own free will to make your own decisions. But ideally, these readings are a source of support, maybe validation for something that you already felt you knew or had an inkling towards the answer, and this would support you in that. If you're new, please check out the drop-down menu underneath the video, because in there is some things I want you to know about the channel and just things I want you to take into your mind when you're using my readings or any of my readings on the page. Ways that you can support the page: please hit the thumbs up button, subscribe if you feel so inclined, if you like the content, check out my other videos, share out my channel, your social media feeds, let your friends know about me, that kind of a thing. All of that is great support, and leaving a question or comment on any reading, I will answer them. I do always read them, and I do certainly appreciate them. All right, so let's see. Oh, and one other thing I always say too is if this doesn't resonate with you, if it doesn't fit somewhere in your life, or you can't, you don't feel alignment to the reading, that's okay. It just means it's not your reading. Doesn't mean that you're doing anything wrong or anything's broken. You just might be working on something different than the majority of the viewers that will see this reading over time. So I trust that sort of, Spirit has a way of working through each and every one of us, that we find exactly what we need when we need it. And so do not fret. All right, so let's see. And I'm a total fretter, so easier said than done, right? So let's see. What do the cards want us to know today? I'm a fretter in a sweater, girl. Okay. Did I just say that? I did. Oh, and I will be referencing back to the Sunday reading, which will be found in the lower, sorry, I'm a little out of it this morning, in the lower left-hand corner at the end of this reading. So if you're not unsure as to why I'm talking about other cards that you don't see, you can always reference that video, because that's the underpinning energy of the week, because I see themes as they play out through the week, okay? So here is our card today. It is the Nine of Wands. I like this. I love this because she's sort of behind her barrier, right? She's got her protection that she's sort of set up for herself. Wands are about the spirit and the soul, the element of fire. So that can often be about action, passion, desire, right? But then when we look at this, it looks to me like she's built her sort of fort in a way. And oftentimes in a traditional Nine of Wands, it's a gentleman like looking at a bunch of sticks that he's kind of got. They're sort of behind him and he's in the front, and he's pained, right? He has like, I think, a head bandage on, if I remember correctly. And it represents that, like, us having gone through a sort of arduous journey and learned something at probably a fairly deep level through a series of, maybe a war or a painful event, right? But we've kind of learned our lesson from whatever has happened to us or whatever we've been through. And when I think about that, and I think about yesterday's reading, which I just happened to watch this morning, and it kind of made me emotional again. But yesterday's reading, if you didn't see it, please check it out. Yesterday's reading was about that Three of Swords, which is definitely a painful card. We're seeing a lot of Swords and Wands energy this week, because before that, I believe we had the King of Wands. And so it seems to be this alternating fire-air, which is okay with me. I like how the cards are rolling out that way, because fire feeds air and air feeds fire, or fire consumes air. So these cards are sort of symbiotic in a way. And for every moment where we're restructuring our thoughts through the air element of the cards, or kind of dealing with how we communicate our thoughts or how we view the world or how we see the world, we're actually being strengthened, I feel like, in some way, shape, or form, right? And the Nine of Wands would definitely represent that strength. She stands here with this flame above her, and she stands proud. She doesn't seem to have a bandage on her head like in a traditional Nine of Wands card. She does have her barrier built, right? Where, not that we're hiding from anybody or that we're um, that we've got walls up, but more like we know how to protect ourselves. We're smarter, we're wiser, we're stronger from having gone through whatever it is that we've gone through, for having looked at whatever it is we needed to look at, for having dealt with whatever it is that we needed to deal with, maybe spiritually first and foremost, because this is a Wands card, but also emotionally and mentally. Underneath this is the Two of Swords, right, from the Sunday reading. We're shifting kind of into, since it's Friday, we're probably more in the Two of Swords energy than that Six of Swords energy, but there's that Six of Swords shift towards better thinking, better thoughts. And then the Two of Swords is kind of like, to me, it's a drawing a boundary. And the way that I interpreted it when I did the readings quite a while ago, because I went traveling, was that that Two of Swords could go either way for some of us. Some of us could be feeling really confused, blocked, and upset, and some of us could be feeling like, okay, we need to draw boundaries, we need to listen to our inner guidance, and we need to like use that wisdom to make decisions that sort of shore us up and keep us safe, right? This Nine of Wands would indicate that safety because she's behind this sort of self-built fence of wands that she has put together, that she has learned from. Nines are about personal completion with a situation, right? And so at a spiritual level, because this is a Wands card, she is in a place where she understands the lesson that was needed to be learned. Does that make sense? And she's able to sort of use that understanding or that knowledge to empower her to stand strong, feel secure, know who she is, shine bright, and not necessarily defend herself, but if need be, I get the sense that this woman would take care of her stuff. Does that make sense? Like, she's not afraid by any means, or cowering at all, hiding out. I also love that she's sort of, even though like her body is positioned to what I would call the past, she's standing boldly in front of it, right? If you look at how she's standing towards us, and she's also not looking behind her in the card. In other words, she's, to me, it feels like maybe we've addressed some issues in the past. We've looked them square in the face, and we've understood them now for what they are. And we also understand from some sort of perspective how they've strengthened us in a way, how they've taught us, how maybe even though they weren't necessarily the best of situations, they maybe hurt us or upset us in some way, shape, or form. But ultimately, from that upset or hurt, we have learned a lesson. We have become wiser, stronger, more independent because of it. Does that make sense? So utilizing that, I think the Two of Swords energy underneath this is about drawing boundaries and not allowing some of the thoughts that maybe we relied upon or would turn to kind of creep in, to actually actively, you know, again, I'll go back to this, the week reading. It's all about the number 7, I feel like, this week. And it's about making a conscious choice to sort of stand on our own 2 feet, to feel empowered, to ensure that our empowerment is at a very deep level through this Nine of Wands, which would represent spirit, but also from that spirit projecting it out into our thoughts, how we perceive things, how we communicate things in our world and in our life, not from a place of ego, but from just a place of security, both mental, spiritual, even, you know, and from there, you know, physical and emotional will fall in line with that because we have the other 2 components working in that manner, and they feel like they're working in symbiosis, right? We keep bouncing back between wands and swords. So it feels like the mind and ego are working with the spirit to kind of line up and make sense of maybe the past, pains of the past, upset, heartache, heartbreak. Even if it's current heartbreak, there's an opportunity for us to learn from this heartbreak, to stand tall and proud like she is, to shine our light and to understand that, in some ways things do serve a purpose. They do teach us, they do evolve us, even if they're difficult or hard. Okay, now let's look to the, we've seen this in the, this week in the grounding stones. This is Owl Spirit and it's Wisdom. We haven't seen this card yet, and this is from the Sacred Forest Oracle. And the card is also number 27, which is a 9. So we have double 9 energy, 99. So again, personal choice, or I'm sorry, being personal completion, not personal choice. I was thinking of the 7. Owls to me always represent sort of wisdom and knowledge. So that's a beautiful thing, right? I love that also Owl Spirit, owl is a bird. And so we have air element, sort of animal, in a sense, right? Feeding this fire of this 9 of Swords. So again, we have air, fire going on in these two cards. I also love how red and fiery this card, Owl Spirit, looks with this woman here standing here with this red flame on her wand. So there is a symbiosis going on here. I think that we've learned, like I said, the 9 of Wands represents having learned something through maybe a struggle and coming to a completion with it, or around our perception of the situation, so that we can be stronger. And when we look behind this woman, there's the faint wings of a butterfly. I don't know if these are her wings, but to me it brings up a butterfly, which to me brings up the idea of transformation, of going through maybe a hard shift or change, but ultimately a transformation that leads us to a place of beauty and understanding. What is going on? Why are they crying? Hold on one second, the dogs are acting up. What is going on, guys? What is the problem? Do not stir them up. Leave them alone. Let them be. You were just outside. You can wait a minute. And let me do this reading. I'll be right back. I have to kennel the dogs because they are like just up to no good whenever I go into the reading, and they know that they can get away with it. Okay, so we're gaining wisdom and we're transforming ourselves, I think, at a very deep level, a profound level, and it's also happening not only at the spiritual level, but at the mental level too, because we have all of these swords cards that we've been seeing this week. Let's go to the grounding stone. This is just an element or an idea, a principle that we want to ground in today as we're going through this. Oh, you know what? And I need to read. Oh, my alarm's going off. Oh, God. 1 second, guys. I'm a mess today. And you know what I just realized? I'm all over the place. I pulled the grounding stone early. Anyways, I'm going to read 2 Sacred Forest Oracle, and then I'll give you the grounding stone. Sorry about this. I'm like just off this morning. All right, wisdom. The sun is set and you feel a remarkable transformation occurring. Your body shapeshifts into an owl. You stretch out your huge wings and silently soar to the top of the tallest pine tree and look over the moonlit forest. Your ability to see the smallest details, even in the darkness, is remarkable. Your sight expands and you see luminous light bodies of the spirit of the forest. They signal you with love and compassion. Abounding insight, profound majesty, and grace are available to you now, simply by pulling your awareness inward. Ancient wisdom is emerging. You know the truth. Trust your intuition and perceptions right now. You are a truth seeker and a truth sharer. The excellent sight of an owl in the darkness corresponds with your ability to perceive the reality of a situation, even in the murkiest of conditions. When this card chooses you, you are at the advent of a time of profound illumination and transformation. That's the butterfly wings. The owl sits at the shoulder of Athena and Merlin, revealing sacred truths. In some native cultures, the owl is called the night eagle, for it has the majesty of an eagle but works silently in the darkness of the night. This card can also mean that it's time to embrace your dark side as well as your light. Through doing so, you will be in balance. The spirit of the owl says, trust in your ability to see the deepest truth in situations and in people. Wisdom is growing within you in mysterious ways. Beyond your awareness, this is a good time to sign up for inspirational courses. Messages from spirit are all around you. Look for them and trust what you feel. Now, Here is the grounding stone. The grounding stone is peace. This is something to ground in today. Our own internal peace, I think. That is the Nine of Wands. Being at peace with the situation, maybe that, we maybe weren't for a long time. And some of the Three of Swords that we saw yesterday was us maybe dredging up some of those memories so that we can become at peace, so that we can reach this sort of cycle of completion, so that we can move forward and have learned from it. We can gain the wisdom and see the truth in the situation from the Owl Spirit card and maintain that peace within ourselves today. This reading to me feels extremely empowered, centered, grounded. So those are things that you might want to be thinking about, focusing on, and grounding in today, is this idea of finding your own internalized peace, wisdom, even power in a way, because the Nine of Wands, although it's a card where it feels like they've been through a rough patch, she does look very empowered, even as she stares back at the past, or stares it boldly in the face, not shirking or hiding from it. All right, thank you so much for watching this. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Thank you and have a wonderful day. Take care. Bye-bye.